From a land of ancient wisdom comes a voice for a modern generation, a voice of calm in a world of chaos, a voice of clarity in a world of confusion. Now she is bringing her unique blend of light-hearted humor and profound spiritual understanding to the U.S., the Caribbean, and Panama.
You don't start walking a marathon the first day.
Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome to the Next Normal. I'm your host, Sister Jenna. I hope that life is treating you well because you're in charge of it. Once your conscious soul is inside of your body, you will always have second chances. And I hope that you remember that. Situations, circumstances, people, money, health, sometimes they're not always going to be 100% perfect. Not yet. In the golden age, which is the next age after this one, it'll be all of that. But for now, this is your age of putting in the best of whatever you've got. America's bubbling with so much. There are two different consciousness existing, not only in this country, but all over the world. One wants to go left, the other wants to go right, and nobody wants to meet, be humble enough to work it out. It's an interesting time, incredible period that we're in. Now, many of us have bumped into individuals that they don't beat to our drum. Let's just say that. You know these friendships or relationships where all my friends are different. We have different ideas, different opinions, they're from different religions. All of my best friends are from different religions. I have a best friend who believes in sound bowl healing, and I would look at her and I go, what in the world are you doing? And she's deeply committed to healing the emotional trauma of the soul through sound bowls. Now, I've been so transparent with her to say, I don't get it, but I love you. That's what I mean. You don't have to get what everybody does in life, but can you still love them because they're different than you? I have another friend who preaches on the pulpit about Jesus and Christ and the cross and the holy, and the scripture says. And I'm like, don't you think that's a little outdated? And she's like, Sister Jenna. And I have to tell you the irony to our relationship. She has visions of Brahma Baba, and I'll have a vision of Jesus. That's how close we are, okay? We're so different. And I have another best friend who is Jewish, and she's into a whole bunch of different things. One of the most beautiful people you'll ever meet. Now I say that to you because they are different, but they're not difficult. Now let's replay the story. Sound bowl healing friend. Oh, I cannot stop. Could you stop that? Why don't you stop that? Why don't you do drums? We stop playing those bowls. That bowls are getting on my nerve. She's so difficult. She doesn't listen to me. You see how that's looking now? And now the other one, who is on the pulpit talking about Jesus and Christ and the cross and the Bible. And let's say if I am Buddhist, and I would tell her, why do you keep doing that? The Buddha says this. No, you have to be Buddha. You have to be a Buddhist. It makes no sense what you're saying. And I find it intriguing that even though she's different, I don't think she's difficult because of her approach or ideology, what she believes in. It's who she is. It happens ever so often. The reason why I wanted to talk about this topic, how to deal with difficult people. The problem behind that is that you haven't increased your love to accept them as they are. Think about it. Give it a moment. Give it a moment. Everyone in your life that you've looked at that is a difficult person in your mind is that you haven't increased your love. There is a character that we were watching, and the person's behavior is very aggressive and very dominant and very offensive. And as I looked at the character and the person, I practiced this. Can I love this person despite their vile behavior? Now, imagine if you had to live with that person, work with that person, eat with that person. Can I still love them? There's another young man. He used to come and visit and sometimes would stay a night or two. Sister Gita used to spoil him. On occasions, he would join us around the dinner table. And I tend to eat with a knife and fork and my spoon very properly. And he would sit at the other end of the table. And you could hear his eating 5 miles away. He would, have the food like this. And I would be appalled. And I would be, you can't sit at my table and eat like that. And he looked at me like I was talking gibberish, like a language he didn't comprehend. And I said, brother, you can't eat like that. There's nothing wrong with my eating. And I remembered, specifically I'm remembering now, I had told Sister Gita, please don't have that brother sit at the table while I'm there. He can sit, but that's not my vibe. Now, it's not that I didn't have love for him, because I have been there for him all the time. But I was able to acknowledge also the love for myself, that I didn't want to be exposed to that energy all the time. The thing is, when you are encountering somebody who is different, that you declare to be difficult, once you feel their difference in your system, it starts to grow a little bit in you. That's why couples who live together for a long time, they become a lot like each other. And many times when people come to me to complain about somebody, I chuckle because I can see the mirror reflection. I've been in situations where I've complained about somebody in my mind or with my close circle. And when I'm done, I actually see a little bit of myself in that person. that I complained about, and it just really bothers me. I felt like Maya, the illusion, the memories of the past, the limitation of my character, got a hit in. Like, you got me this time, didn't you? Because I said, I wish this person would not be this way and this, and I don't care much for this person's behavior and attitude because, and then after Maya beats me up, she pounded me with those thoughts. Those are thoughts that came from my past illusions, delusions, experiences, trauma, loss, guilt, shame, disappointment, desire, expectation, jealousy, comparison. It comes as a thought. And you grab onto somebody's differences who you claim is very difficult for you. And it starts to feed into you. And if you're not knowledgeable enough, and if you're not honest enough with yourself, you will have no idea that you've become the person that you've complained about the most. I told people, especially as we're in an election cycle, if you feed much into whoever are the people that are running for any particular office, you will see that a lot of who you are is in that person. And you have to look at that person and you see your reflection of yourself. Whoever you believe in as a candidate or even a movie star or a singer, there's a lot of who you are too in them. There's something about them that appeals to you, and it is a part of you. And I sometimes wonder, if you lived with those people, would you like them? So one of my tools of getting along with difficult people is that I will look at them in a few ways. I will design in my head a cartoon caricature. Like, oh, that's like Mickey Mouse. Hi, Mickey. It softens my ego. Hey, Daffy Duck. Hey, Tweety Bird. Now that's happening in my head, right? Because I know they're a soul, and I know they're God's children, and I know they're pure at the heart. But there's some karmic energy from the past that is overshadowing their divinity and their beauty. So to protect myself, hey, Tweety Bird, in my mind, right? Now they're carrying on in front of me, and this is the way it should be. Yeah, okay, I'm so sorry. Hey, Tweety, in my head. Okay, so the energy of their difficultness, or all the algae energy they're bringing towards me, my humility, my softness, and my consciousness towards them is protecting me, number one. Number two way that I protect myself from difficult people, I have this innate ability to practice looking at them as if they were a 6-month-old child. I mean, there might be this big person, and I look at them and I go, it's just a baby inside. Okay, I get it. There's a baby there. It's a little tiny baby. Oh yeah, I'm so, can't you, okay, listen, can we work this out, please? And in my mind, look at the little baby. No, it will not be like this because of this and this and this. I know, I get it. And I'm trying to get in the energy field, right? But that's a little baby in there. I'm a baby. My first day I was born is recorded in me right now as I'm speaking to you. My 6-month-old self is in me as I'm speaking to you. My 5-year-old self is still in me as a recording as I'm speaking to you, in the same way as that difficult person. They're just in an illusionary state. They are just thinking this is the only way they can get by. It isn't. Now, the intellectual way of doing this is you approach them to have a discussion to see how you can make amends. Never works. I've met with individuals who are stuck on a memory, and no matter what you tell them, they can't hear you. You literally almost have to shake them up for them to even get some attention in. So sometimes having an open dialogue, like what intellectuals do, they'll say, have you sat to talk to the person? Tried it 1,000,000 times. Nothing came out of it. Oh. The fourth method they offer you, why don't you bring somebody, a third-party person, to come and mediate between both of you? You've seen what peace treaties have become today in the world, right? When the mediator has come in. Doesn't always work. It's intellectual. It's not from the heart. But they'll come in, and maybe there's some common ground, but doesn't necessarily always work out. There are people that are holding deep beliefs in themselves that they've become very stubborn. And when you challenge a stubborn person, you get the worst out of them. Have you noticed? And when you leave them, you trust that, this person has to deal with themselves. And so do I. But here's what I want to end with. As you take care of your inner world, and I mean that, when you really take care of the soul, you've got to talk to yourself in a way that expresses care, compassion, motivation, inspiration, purity, love, divinity, the sacred. You have to develop the language to talk to yourself like that. You might ask, how do you do that, Sister Jenna? Jen, you're doing the best you can, and it's enough for you. I know you. You will be so much better too. Keep going. That's how you talk to yourself. That's how you keep inspiring yourself along the way. When your intellect, your mind is free, if you're walking from the kitchen to the living room, what are you thinking? If you're walking from your living room to your car to go to work or school, what are you thinking? You can have that self-talk. Because you too have been difficult to yourself. I bet you've been difficult to your own self. So many times you lose your inspiration for your own development, right? And you make things difficult for yourself. So you need to even apply some of the same techniques as you would with somebody outside of you. Correct? Do you agree? It's not always somebody that's difficult outside of you. Sometimes your own personality becomes difficult for you. So you need to talk to the self in that way. So here's what I want to do for our meditation. I want you to close your eyes with me. And I want you to emerge like there's a mirror. And you're looking in the mirror and you're saying to that mirror, as you look at yourself, you're okay, I love you, I accept you as you are. Ready? Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Close your eyes and emerge your mirror within. Just want you to look at yourself. Look at yourself and see into yourself. and start accepting yourself as you are. Observe the way your inner world is feeling, the shift that's occurring. With this simple practice, take a deep breath now. Exhale. And just observe what you just did for yourself. And how in that simple step of meditation you were able to accept whatever you are. Even if you're difficult. Even if some people think you've been difficult. Time and time again, I've seen, just because you're not the way a person wants you to be, they think they're God and they're not going to love or support you. It just makes me laugh. Like, wow. Have you gone that far down in the rabbit hole of delusion? Wow. And you'll see marriages, you'll see people at work, you'll see siblings, you'll see relatives and friends dislike or misunderstand everything they do to each other just because of this mindset of ignorance and holding in their recording that this person is so difficult, you know. They're not like me, so they're difficult. Not true. It's good to be difficult because it means you're different, but hopefully your difference is making a difference. Got what I'm saying? If you're different, make the world a better place. If you're difficult, don't destroy it. That's not the kind of difference we're looking at, yeah? Let's take a look at awakened intelligence and see if I made any sense to you today. How to handle difficult people can be challenging, but with the right approach, it can manage these situations. Number one, stay calm and composed. It's so true, right? Don't take what they're saying personally. Number two, empathize and listen to them. Active listening and also show empathy. Like, I really feel it for you. Set boundaries. Be clear and assertive, but don't engage in arguments with them. Use I statements. Communicate your feelings. Use statements like, I feel, instead, you always. Focus on solutions, not problems. So shift to problem solving. 6, know when to disengage. That's enough. Take breaks if needed. Walk away from the toxicity. It's a big one. If the behavior is persistent and harmful, limit your interaction with the person. Send them your good wishes, bless them. Number 7, practical self-care. Protect your well-being. Because dealing with difficult people can be so emotionally draining. So ensure that you have time to recharge and care for yourself. It's especially for those that you work and live with. So these strategies can help you to handle difficult people with more ease and maintain your peace in challenging times. Someone who wasn't difficult but was animated is our Sister Gita effect. Enjoy it now.
means of one who has accurate inculcation on the knowledge of the word drama. In a limited drama, would an actor query or ask, why is this one doing this? What is that? It shouldn't be like this. No, they would only do what is scripted. In this unlimited drama, it is the same. When I have accurate knowledge of this, my state is constant. I can have a loveful vision on everyone. I can be fearless and free from enmity. I can have an attitude free from blame. I can be constantly cheerful. The constant experience of liberation and liberation in life can be felt. Equanimity in loss and benefit, in praise and defamation. I would also be worry-free. If I had the constant and accurate inculcation of this wisdom, as Shakespeare said, all the world is a stage, and all are actors and actresses playing their part. Why then do we question? It should be like, why are you doing that? Why didn't you pick that up? This one keeps making the same mistake again and again. This one should do it like this. This is the way I do it. They should do it like this. One is doing exactly what is scripted. This brings harmony in relationships and space in the mind. The space in the mind will come when I stop and think. This scene that's before me, is there something in this I need to learn? When I do that, then my mind will return to its original state of purity, peace, and love. There would not even be a case of let me forgive, because I know whatever you're doing, that is what's scripted. You are playing your part. What's it all about? It's the drama of life.
Thank you, Sister Gita. Today's Avyak signal. Your younger brothers and sisters are looking to you and calling out to you with the desire, help me fulfill my desires. It's like, I need your help. You're older souls. And as older souls, we take care of our younger ones. Souls inside of their heart are saying, fulfill our desire for peace and happiness. So what will you do? Will you fulfill your own desires or their desires? When the elevated sound emerges from your heart that you're ignorant of the knowledge of any desire, you will then be able to fulfill everyone else's desires. It's so powerful, you know. We reached a point in our lives that the language you hear the generations say, I don't care about them. And here God is saying, care about people, at least have good feelings for them. You'll fulfill their desires. That's how you get along with difficult people. Just be kind. I've been around a lot of them, and sometimes it has hurt me, and I have been shattered, and my self-esteem and my self-worth were tested. But I rise up out of it because I recognize any disturbance of my peace is my responsibility, my fault, and I have to get out of this me. And so no one outside should be that strong, or I shouldn't give any other human so much permission to disturb my love and my peace as a person. That's my duty, right? So keep that in mind. If you want to increase your love, practice loving everybody the same. Things just might work out for you. Thank you so much for joining us in the next normal. Take care of yourselves. Please take care of the people you live with. Om Shanti.